Hi, welcome to Property Law 101. I'm Sara Bronin, and I created this series to help you understand more about property law. We cover 4 fundamental questions in this series, and today's class is going to focus on the second question, and that is, how do we acquire property? As you heard in video 7, we are focusing within that question on 4 different routes of title. How do we get title? So there's discovery, there's first possession, there is creation, and there's labor. So today we are talking about first possession, and we're talking about a modern case, or maybe a modernish case involving first possession, and that is called Popov versus Hayashi. So this case is about a Barry Bonds baseball. So you've heard of Barry Bonds, famous baseball player. This is his record-breaking baseball. So this baseball has a lot of value. If you have ever been to a game involving America's favorite pastime, you know how the Major League Baseball treats fly balls. So as soon as a batter hits the ball and sends it out into the fans, it is fair game. In a sense, as soon as the ball comes off of the batter's bat, it becomes property that is unowned or abandoned property that is up for grabs. So that's the case here. So we have this case of the fly ball. Barry Bonds has hit the ball. It sails into the stands. And what happens next? So you have Popov, who catches the ball in his glove, but then a mob interferes with his catch. So there's an unruly group of people. They're pushing, they're shoving. So he bobbles the ball. Supposedly, the second person, Hayashi, is not involved in the jostling crowd. Hayashi picks up the ball and secures it in his glove and then walks away with it. If you want to see an image of this, you should see the Up for Grabs trailer, if not the full movie, because it offers descriptions of firsthand witnesses and it's generally very entertaining. So we all love baseball, but let's get to the property law aspects of this question. So what are the property interests in each? So first you have Popov, who caught the ball first. He touched it first, but he didn't have full control of it. So he had what the court calls a prepossessory interest. He has the ability to start reducing it to ownership, but in this case, it is interrupted by wrongful acts of other people. It was Hayashi who had the first unambiguous possession. So you had Popov with what the court calls a prepossessory interest. Then you have Hayashi who has unambiguous possession. But the only reason he has that possession is because Popov's possession was interfered with. So between the two of them, who has the stronger claim? The court says neither one. The court solution is to divide the ball equitably. Now, that doesn't mean cutting the ball in two and giving one to the other. In this case, it's very unlikely that either of the people involved in the dispute would have kept the ball. So the judge awarded a property interest in both of them, and eventually they ended up selling it. Very interestingly, one of their attorneys was working on contingency. The other one was working on billable hours. You can guess which party lost out financially in the end. All right, let's put that aside though. So we've seen in other courts, like in Pearson versus Post, the decision that you read about or viewed in video 10, and we've seen that they have avoided equitable division. So why was this court willing to do so here? Well, maybe a couple of reasons. The first is there's not an expectation in this case that the baseball necessarily would have been reduced to ownership, or that they would have even had a possibility of acquiring it as a fly ball. So the perhaps uncertainty in the outcome and the uncertainty of ownership itself is something cited in note 4. It's something written about by Peter Siegelman and others. So that's one idea of why this court actually pursues the equitable division remedy. Second, because again, this is a Barry Bonds baseball. They're not likely to keep this baseball in their house. They're not likely to just sit it on the fireplace mantle and call it a day. They're going to sell this. Something that can be, that has cash value or that is likely to be sold is a lot easier to divide up among parties who have a dispute over it. So in those senses, I want to be sure that you know that this case doesn't necessarily have a normal remedy. It has unusual facts and it has an unusual resolution. So baseball aside, I will leave it there. I'll look forward to hearing from you either on Twitter or on my mailing list and connecting, and I will see you next time. Thank you.